Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the AI Language Flutter series. Today, we're diving into one of the most versatile widgets in Flutter, the container. In this video, we'll explore containers in depth by creating a grid layout of 8 containers. Each one will demonstrate different properties like colors, padding, margins, borders, gradients, shadows, and more. By the end, you'll have a complete understanding of how to use containers in your Flutter projects. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and check out the AI Language Playground for free access to the live code editor, where you can try this code yourself. The link is in the description below. Now let's get started. We begin with our familiar setup. Inside my app, we return a material app. This widget defines our app's overall structure, including its theme and home screen. For the theme, we set the primary swatch to teal, which provides a consistent color palette. The home property points to a new widget we've created called Container Demo. Now, let's move on to the Container Demo widget. Container Demo widget. The Container Demo widget is a stateless widget, meaning it doesn't change during its lifetime. It returns a scaffold, which provides the basic structure for our screen. Inside the scaffold, we have an app bar with the title Containers Demo. This is the top bar of the app, and it gives the screen a title. Below the app bar, we define the body of the screen. Here, we use a gridView.count widget to create a grid layout with 2 columns. This layout is perfect for displaying our 8 containers in an organized way. The gridView.count has a few important properties. Cross-axis count 2 means there will be 2 columns. Padding edgeinsets.all 8.0 adds spacing around the grid. Cross-axis spacing and main axis spacing add spacing between the grid items, both horizontally and vertically. Inside the grid, we have 8 containers, each customized to demonstrate a specific property. Let's walk through them one by one. Container 1, basic color. The first container is the simplest example of a container with a background color, but we set its color property to teal, giving it a solid background color. Inside the container, we center a text widget that says Container 1 on the first line and basic color on the second line. We styled the text to be bold, white, and slightly larger for better visibility. This shows how easy it is to create a basic colored block using a container. Container 2, fixed size. The second container demonstrates how to set a fixed width and height. We use the width and height properties to define its size. Even though Grid View enforces its own layout, these properties are useful for other scenarios where you need precise sizing. This container has a blue background and centered white text that says fixed size. Container 3, padding and alignment. The third container introduces padding and alignment. Padding adds space inside the container around its child. We set it to 16 pixels on all sides using edgeinsets.all 16.0. Alignment determines where the child is positioned. Here we align the text to the top left using alignment.topLeft. This container has an orange background and demonstrates how to control spacing inside a container. Container 4, margin and border. Next, we explore margin and borders. Margins are the space outside the container. We set a margin of 16 pixels around this container. Borders are added using a box decoration. We've defined a black border with a thickness of 4 pixels to make it more noticeable. This container has a purple background, and the border visually separates it from the other containers. Container 5, gradient. The fifth container showcases how to use a gradient background. Instead of a solid color, we use a box decoration with a linear gradient. The gradient blends from red at the top left to yellow at the bottom right. This container is visually striking and demonstrates how to add stylish backgrounds to your UI. Container 6, shadow and rounded corners. Here we add a shadow and rounded corners to the container. Rounded corners are achieved using borderRadius.circular, which gives the container a smoother, softer appearance. Shadows are added with box shadow. We've made the shadow darker by using a nearly black color, increased its blur radius, and adjusted its offset for a more dramatic effect. This green container is a great example of how to add depth and elegance to your design. Container 7, rotated content. For the seventh container, we use the transform widget to rotate its content. The angle property rotates the container slightly counterclockwise. This adds a playful or dynamic touch to the UI, depending on how you use it. This brown container demonstrates how to apply basic transformations to a widget. Container 8, transformations. The final container shows how to use scaling transformations. We wrap the container in a transform.scale widget and set the scale property to 1.2, which enlarges the container by 20%. This pink container is perfect for demonstrating how to scale widgets dynamically and can add an interactive feel to your UI. Let's quickly recap what we've covered. We used a grid view to display 8 containers in a structured layout. Each container demonstrated a unique property or group of properties: colors, sizes, padding, margins, borders, gradients, shadows, and transformations. You now have a complete understanding of how to use containers for layout and styling in Flutter. Conclusion: I hope you found this lesson helpful. Containers are one of the most versatile widgets in Flutter, and mastering them will make your designs much more polished and professional. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends who are learning Flutter. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tutorials like this, and check out the AI Language Playground to try the code yourself. In the next video, we'll dive deeper into layouts and widgets, exploring how to build beautiful UIs in Flutter. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy coding.